Hi, Dr. Bart here, and today I'd like to talk to you about, being hired by FANG or Big Tech in 2025. Before COVID and the release of ChatGPT, those companies were hiring like crazy and were like the go-to companies, really. Everybody wanted to work there. Is it still the case in 2025? Should you consider those companies as your next stop? Let's discuss. If you think about it, the FANG companies, and I used to work for Microsoft myself, I was pretty close to working with Google, are not all that different from any other companies when it comes to product management. The general requirements and the processes are very similar. The only difference is the scale and the prestige. Well, that's true, of course, and the prestige is not gone, but with all the layoffs happening across Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and all the big tech companies over the years, I think only Apple wasn't really firing. You could ask yourself whether you want to go in a company where morale is obviously low and your position can be made redundant within weeks of you joining. That would be the conclusion a year, maybe 2 years ago. But what I can observe on the market and LinkedIn and generally on the career pages is that looks like the worst is behind us, that the companies have went back to the level of recruitment and having people hired, which is reasonable to their needs. And those needs are growing and the recruitment started again. Not to mention natural churn that frees up opportunities for outside people to join those companies. Given what happened and what's happening right now, should you apply? Obviously, yeah, I think you should. For one thing, you will build your brand if you get hired. Having Microsoft, Meta, Amazon in your CV is a sign that you've made it, that you are among the best product managers in the world and you can make the cut to the highest requirements bar. So if not for anything else, it's investment in your own personal brand and future hirings when maybe after being part of big tech for a few years, you want to take a stab at a startup or try something of your own. Who knows? But you'll be set for success already. Another thing that is super important is the scale. When you operate on millions of users, the way you think about data, the way you do experiments or take risk is so much different in compared to small scale projects. And that is a very educational experience that is creating products for different markets and viewers across the world. So you can't really operate on what you know, but instead you have to use everything company and the data dashboards know in order to make good decisions. There is no place for gut feeling when you are creating something that Americans, Asians, and Europeans will use. The same scale that comes with the user base is also visible in the company. You will have access to enormous resources, both training and technological ones. You will be on the forefront of whatever you need to create great products. You might still suffer the scarcity of the developers, so you won't likely have the biggest team in the world. You might be even blocked by other teams until they are available to help you out. But that's normal in any of the larger companies. But here, you will be able to do so much more. As an example, in Microsoft, I had an idea on how to improve Skype back when that was alive. And what I was doing in order to achieve it was going to Xbox division because I knew they have components that will help me achieve my goal. I never got to finish this work, but it was incredible when you think about it, how different smaller companies are part of a big company and giving you an enormous world of possibilities that you can pursue. And I did mention that there's high entry bar, which means that everyone you meet there is top of the line. You will be able to learn from the best, assuming you are not the best already. And none of us are. Even if you consider that everyone there is like 80% perfect, good, professional, knowledgeable, experienced, that 20% left is what you can push yourself by interacting with the other Pareto level experts in the company. This is such an amazing environment to be in order to grow your skills and grow yourself as a human being. If we go more pragmatic, the big tech companies are perhaps the ones that pay the most, especially in US. Of course, there might be startups that will pay more because they are freshly funded, but the big tech companies have really unlimited budgets. And what you might feel is an average industry rate on paper when it comes to every month's salary, you don't take into account that you also get shares every quarter for the few first years with the company. And those can turn enormous profit, which other companies won't simply give it to you. So yeah, that's where you really want to see your financial future. And speaking of future, when you are in those companies, the companies with, as I mentioned, almost unlimited resources, where none of them want to miss the next iPhone moment, which for now means artificial intelligence investments, you are able to be there when these AIs are being built and incorporated in different products, which means you can shape the future of those products. That means that you can, to some degree, dictate on how the world will develop and change, and you will be able to say that you are part of this change, that it's your decisions that shaped the reality of things to come. Of course, you can say that for many updates not connected to AI, but it's the AI now that has the potential of shaping the world around us, and you can be responsible for that. Of course, being in a big company is not all sunshine and rainbows. You will be just a small cog in a big machine. You will be frustrated with lots of bureaucracy and limitations that are put there to protect the company from liability and avoidable mistakes. I did say that there are fewer layoffs right now, but they're not really gone. Companies now fear a little bit the potential financial crisis, so they are rationalizing their spending and making sure that efficiency level are at its highest. So you won't be as secure in your new big tech position as you could have been a few years ago. And while I romanticize the ability to change the world, it really depends on where you land. You may be there in the forefront of AI development, or you may be responsible for something benign like writing documentation for Office or whatever. There's lots of product management jobs out there, and not all of them will be all that encouraging and inspiring. But if you don't play the lottery, you won't win the lottery. So if you want to be there in big company, you have to try. You have to apply for the positions for products that suit you and drive your ambition. And you might only get one shot at this, and you want to use it the best way possible. And to do that, I have joined Akash Gupta's 10-week cohort in order to share all the knowledge I have that led me to Microsoft and everything I learned since then, and make sure that when you are being contacted by the recruiter, you will know exactly what to do to win that big tech position. So go to www.landapmjob.com. I will leave the link in the description, and there should be a QR code somewhere here. And check out the cohort, check out the offer, and, well, I can only promise you that we'll make sure that once you're done with the program, you'll be ready to take on any big tech product management job. That is a guarantee. For now, thank you for making it to the end of the video. It's been a while since I did long form videos, so hope you like it. Please leave like and subscribe to let the algorithm know that there's this little Dr. bot that can help you out with your product management challenges. And see you in the next video. Thank you.